Hello, my name is Franklin and welcome to my channel. Today we're working on a Caterpillar 299 D2. The left track motor locks up, it won't move, only the right track moves. So we're going to remove the drive motor and check it out. Okay, we have troubleshooted and gotten it down to where we checked the shifter, checked the lines. This drive motor here locks up. I'm pretty sure it's the brake on the inside that stays engaged, because it also does work when it's cool, but once it warms up a little bit it just locks up big time, and this side won't move, only the other side will actually drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this drive motor and see if we can take it to get it repaired. The first thing we want to do is take off the track so we can get off that drive motor right there. So in order to get off that track, we're going to have to lift it up a little bit. Before we lift it up, we'll take off this cover here. We'll take off this cover here and let out the grease and pull see that little space right there? We'll pull the track in with the come along. Once the track gets pulled all the way in, the grease will come out of here, and then we can move that track out of the way and start taking that off right there. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take off this screw right here. It is a 1/2 inch, so we want to loosen that up and take it off. Take out this little screw here. Okay, and the plate comes off. To not lose it, I usually just stick it back in the hole like this so it won't get lost, just to keep up with it. Put the cover back on there and then put the screw back in there like that. Just kind of screw it in until, okay, just screw it in there good enough so it doesn't come loose. Let's try the other hand. There we go. Just like that. Leave it in there. Now, if you look in there, you see this little grease fitting right here. That's a grease fitting right there. Around the outside piece, you want to loosen that up. So let's get a socket and loosen that up. Okay, you see that grease fitting there? It is 17 millimeter. So you want to grab it and just loosen it up counterclockwise. I've already loosened it up with the socket. You just want to turn it counterclockwise lightly until it stops. There you go. You can see the grease is already coming out. See? Let's kind of turn it counterclockwise. You want to use a 17 millimeter. You see grease is already coming out of it because it's already pretty tight. Okay, and then I'll show you the next steps. As you can see, I have a hoist right there, and here in the bottom I have a chain just wrapped around and locked to itself on the track right here. So when I pull the hoist, when I crank the hoist down, it'll pull the track that way, and what it'll do is, you see this gap here, that gap will close as the grease comes out of the grease fitting. I've loosened the grease fitting all the way up. I didn't take it out. And then I'll start cranking on that. Normally I use a cranking come along, but they're both on another job right now. I haven't picked them up yet. So right now I'm just going to crank it a little bit. And you want to do this while it's still on the ground so it won't just start turning. And so you just kind of crank it up like so, and it'll start pulling that track in and loosening it up. Okay, you'll notice grease will start coming out of the little hole there, and it'll start getting tight. Okay, you can see how the track has already started to sag right here. If you look down here, you see a bunch of grease came out already. So we just crank it. So this space here will be getting smaller and smaller. makes it a lot easier to get the track off, as you can see. Good and tight. See all the grease coming out right there? See how small that space is getting? The track is getting closer and more. Okay. Almost all the way in. It's best to put it all the way in because then you won't have a hard time when you're putting it back on. Okay, it's almost all the way in. A lot of greases came out of there. Looks good so far. Okay. That looks good. Maybe we can get it off there. It's quite a bit of space. Look at the sag in the track. See that? If you look at the bottom, you see all the grease came out. Let me show you. See all the grease that's come out of that hole? That's what's holding the track tight. So now we'll have to, when we put it back on the track, we'll have to put grease back in there, and that'll tighten the track up. But for now, that should be good enough. Now we're gonna loosen it back up. Okay, now since we got it loose, we're gonna take off the chains and we're gonna lift it up and put some railroad ties under it. Once the railroad ties are under it, we can remove the track. So we'll go ahead and take all this stuff off for now. Put it to the side. I'll take everything off because we may have another jack of this stuff later. Okay. Okay, let's pull it up and see how much space we got. Easier said than done. This stuff is heavy. There we go. That's good space. That's a good space to get this sucker off. Okay, let's go ahead and jack it up now. Okay, I have put in the floor jack up under this part. You can see it's right above, below the ledge. I'm gonna jack it up and then I'm gonna put chalk blocks under it with the track up off the ground about at least 2 to 3 inches. I believe this is a 3-ton floor jack. I bought it at Harbor Freight years ago. So, but it still works. So I'm gonna pick it up, jack it up, tighten it up, jacking it up. Then I'm gonna put these railroad ties. I cut these. I bought a whole one for 25 bucks years ago at McCoy's, and I cut it into 8 pieces, I think, little pieces. And I use it to put up under these things to work because they're safer than a regular jack, in my opinion. Okay, I put this jack in there and also put some chalk blocks under it, and I lifted up this thing off the ground. As you can see, the bottom is off the ground, but see how loose that space is in there between the track and the rollers? That's what you want to see right there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put the bar in there and move it, take it off of that side of the track there. We're going to take it off of this side. See how loose it is on this side here? Now that's ready to come off. We just got to maneuver it a little bit and pull it this way, and then we can pull it off of that stuff and take off that gear. So let's do that. This piece out. Okay. Easier said than done. Okay. one. Okay. Let's pick it up on this side. Okay, let's do it. Okay, that should be good enough to get the motor off. This is the back of the drive motor. You can see it's exposed, it's ready to come off. But before we take off the drive motor, there's one thing we got to do. We got to mark all these hoses because they may be like, I'm just going to be taking it off. I'm not going to be putting it back on. But just in case they ask me to put it back on, I like to have it marked just in case. So I'll put colored zip ties on all the hoses on both sides, one here and one there. You know, I'll mark them all. Then I'll take a picture of them so I can see more or less where they go. And hopefully when they send to get it rebuilt, it'll come back with the same colors and stuff. So if not, I'll have pictures of it, of where each color goes. So for right now, we're going to go ahead and mark them up with the colored zip ties before we take off the lines and remove these nuts here. Okay, now I have already cleaned up all these bolts. I cleaned the dirt off of all of these. I'll clean the sand off of all of these. I've got all the hoses marked with colored zip ties. So in case someone else puts it together, because all I'm going to do is take it off and take it in, give it to the owner. So if someone else has to put it together, it won't have any problems. And also I will take pictures of the zip ties to make sure that in case they take them off of the motor when they rebuild it, whatever they take it to get it rebuilt. And I need to do that one there. So let's get the rest of it going. I have removed all the dirt and I have removed all the hoses that I marked. They're all disconnected, and now we'll have to put caps on that, and we'll have to put caps on all the hoses. What comes next is to remove this box here, which is the speed sensor. So we'll have to cut this little plastic here, and then if you look here, there's a little connector. We'll disconnect that connector and then remove this sensor here so it's not damaged, and then we'll start unbolting the drive motor. Okay, so now we'll cut this little zip tie here. Okay, we'll take that off, and then we'll unplug this little cable here. Once that's unplugged, then we can unscrew this little speed sensor here so it won't get damaged. We'll take it off and put it away somewhere. I've already taken out this little sensor here. Now before I can get to those mounting bolts down there, I'll have to take out this one, and this one. So I'll move this out of the way. I'll take these 3 bolts out, and this little mechanism here will come off. And then I can move it to the side, and then I can take off all of these mounting bolts that actually mount the drive motor to the machine. That's next. Okay, now I got all the hoses off, and they're all marked. You see they're marked with zip ties, and this part here has zip ties also. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take pictures of where all the zip ties are in case somebody takes them off when they rebuild it. The speed sensor, I took off the Allen screw, but it's still stuck in there. So I'll take it off once I get the drive motor off. I pulled this off, so it's just kind of out of the way. The speed sensor still needs to come out of there, but I'll do it once I get it off. So what I'll do right now is take off all of these bolts around here, and then this little motor will just fall right off. Well, I can pull it off. That's what's holding the drive motor on the machine, are these bolts right there. So I'll go ahead and put a breaker bar and a socket on there and take those off. Okay, I have the socket. It is a 24mm socket. So we'll have to take that one off and then go all the way around. Once they're all off, we can lift this thing here off of there. Enterito. I have the breaker bar on it. See, I have 1-inch socket with a breaker bar. I'm going to have to break them loose first. Pipe on there. I'm going to get over here. Start with this one. The one on the bottom is going to be the most difficult. But we'll start from here. There we go. There's the first one. And what I'll do is I'll go around and loosen them all up one at a time. Next one. Okay. So what I'll do now, let's do one more here. Loosen that. Okay. So you don't need to see me do them all. I'll go through and loosen them all up and I'll take them all off. Okay, now I have that thing ready to come off. I haven't unbolted the sprocket, but that's not necessary. I should be able to pull the whole motor off and take the sprocket off over here. But first what I wanted to do was cap off the lines, because it won't take but a few grains of sand or dirt to destroy the whole pump. So we want to make sure we get no debris in there. So I have here the JIC type caps and the plugs. You see? And here I have the O-ring face type caps here. And I have also the plugs with the seal on them. So we're going to do that first. We're going to cap and plug them right now. Okay, see what I have here? I have a plug. You see it comes with a little plastic cap so it can stay clean also. So take off the plastic cap, and that one, let's see if it fits this one. Let's see, we'll pull that out. We'll spin that around there. There we go. That, and it has a rubber O-ring on it. I'll show you the seal in a little while. That way it gets sealed completely, and you'll get no trash in that line. And then we'll find a cap for all of these. We'll just pull one out that looks more or less that one looks a little bigger. So maybe this one. Let's put this. It's JIC. It's O-ring face. Maybe this one. Maybe this one right here. Maybe. We'll just go ahead and pull the cap off and save the cap. When you get done with the job, you will put your caps back on. Or what I do sometimes, I plug the plug into the cap, and just put both of them together. Just keep them together that way, if you have to. So let's go ahead and close this one here up so it stops leaking. You see that? Oh yeah. See the rubber seal in there? You want to make sure you have that. That way it won't leak if someone accidentally starts the machine, accidentally or intentionally. Okay. Doesn't want to cooperate with one hand, but it's almost in there. There she goes. It's in there, see? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cap and plug all the rest. I'm gonna get some caps for these and plugs for these. I'll get them all done and come right back. See, now I have everything capped off. All the lines are capped, and the pump are capped and or plugged, and the zip ties are there. The only thing I have to do now is remove the speed sensor so it's not damaged. So this is the speed sensor, and I would like to remove it and put it up so it's not banged or broken off. That happens. So I'll get a pair of pliers and twist. Okay, I got it loose, so I'm just gonna wiggle it and pull it out. Okay, looks like it's pretty dirty. What's that? And oil's coming out. That's the O-ring right there that was holding it in right there. So this will put up so it doesn't get damaged or lost. This is the speed sensor. Okay, I got everything out except for the sprocket bolts. We're not going to remove the sprocket right now, but everything else is out and it's ready to go. I got this chain hoist on here so it won't fall to the ground once I get it out. So I'm going to lift it up just a little bit like that, and I'm going to start pushing it out from the back. Okay, it's almost out. See, it's moving. This side here. Almost out. On this side here. This is out. Okay. Let's pull this out a little bit more. And this side a little bit. The hose is out of the way. Down a little bit. The chain's there so it won't just fall to the ground and damage something. There we go. This back there. And this back there. Okay. And some more. Two of the fittings are hitting, so I'm going to have to remove the fittings rather not, but I'll have to move them and put them back in. See this fitting right here? It's hitting, so I'm going to have to remove this one and get it out of the way. I'll just have to take a picture of it so I know where it's at and make sure it points the same direction when I put it back in. And then there's this one right here that's hitting also. This one right there, see where it's hitting? I'll have to remove that one as well, and that should do it. Okay, I pulled that one fitting out, I put it back in. If I pulled it out now, the drive motor's off. This is it. We can let it down now. A little bit at a time. Need to come this way. Okay. Go. Oops, wrong way. Down to the ground. Okay, it is on the ground. Okay. Okay, we have it off right here. The customer only asked me to take it off for him. He said he's going to see if he can find the shop to rebuild it or get a new one or whatever. And that's all he wanted me to do, so I don't know if he wants me to put it back on, but this is all I'm going to do on this job for now. Thank you very much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. The customer is not sure if he's going to want me to put it on or not. He's going to go look for it and decide what he's going to do. But I did my part. I appreciate you watching my video. If you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll see you in the next video.